Hey guys, it's Juliet Thomas, and today I want to share with you why finding the right buyer's agent on Lake Norman is absolutely crucial to you. And I also want to share how I represent my buyers on Lake Norman. There's a lot of intricacies to buying a property on Lake Norman, and I'm going to call out a few examples for you. One of the items would be a private pier. If you are looking for a private pier, there's some intricacies that you need to know. Number one, the pier needs to be in the right person's name, meaning that if you are buying, it has to be in the seller's name and transferable to you. A pier is a huge asset and one of the value drivers to property. So the pier, the shape, the location, the way it's facing, also the water depth are very key points to understanding what you're purchasing on Lake Norman. Water depth that is good water depth would generally be between 8 to 10 feet at full pond. And what is full pond? Full pond is when the water of Lake Norman is at 760 feet contour line of elevation. Duke Energy owns Lake Norman, and Duke Energy keeps the lake usually at 98% to full pond. And we can make a pretty good estimate to where full pond is. But there's also a website at Duke Energy that you can see every day where the lake levels are. Some other things that are very important about buying a property on Lake Norman, including the pier, is the condition of the pier. Is the pier stable? Is the pier in a location where you have a wide cove on the main channel? These are all things that you need to know when buying a Lake Norman home. The pier and the water depth also dictate what type of boat that you can have on Lake Norman, which is important for your lifestyle and the reason why you are purchasing on Lake Norman. Something else that is very important, speaking of shorelines and piers, is actually the shoreline and the rocks that are around the shoreline, which is called riprap. Riprap can be very expensive, and having the right type of riprap in place to protect erosion in your property is very important. There are other things that go along with buying a property on Lake Norman, like where the septic is located, where the well is located, and it can be very complicated. There's rules such as where you can plant things or actually put property and construct property. You can only be so many feet back from what we referenced again in the past conversation was that 760 line. So typically homes built after a certain time point, you can only do construction past that 50-foot barrier. There's also a 30-foot barrier for homes that are grandfathered in. And that means that they're a certain age where you can do construction past that 30 foot. So making sure that you hire the right agent that not only knows sales strategy, negotiation strategy, project management, but can fairly represent you and know what they're doing on Lake Norman to protect you is absolutely crucial, which is why you should hire me, Juliet Thomas. Spent a ton of time on Lake Norman. I've sold over $40 million in sales and real estate and growing very quickly on Lake Norman, and I'm happy to help you and your family.